Child support is defined as payment made by one or both separated parents to support the financial needs of the children. So the cost of child support can range, as there are many conceptions floating around about the topic. Tell me, Diane, does someone automatically get child support when they separate?
A person will not automatically get child support payments when they separate. They will need to contact the Department of Human Services. Within the Department of Human Services, there's the Child Support Agency, and they need to ask for their former partner or spouse to be assessed to pay child support.
Okay, so, how is it worked out? Because it's quite complex.
It is quite a complex arrangement, and there's actually a formula that the Child Support Agency used to calculate child support. There's a number of steps and factors considered, such as how much each parent earns, the number of nights of care each parent has for the child or children, how many children there are, how old the children are. So often a good starting point, I say to people, in determining what you may be entitled to receive or obligated to pay in terms of child support is to go to the Child Support Estimator calculator on their website. It's a really good starting point for people to see what they may be assessed to pay, or for a person receiving child support, what they may get.
Okay. So can parties agree on child support to be paid, and is there a way it can be documented?
Absolutely. If parties are able to reach an agreement as to the financial support for their child or children, that's wonderful. And it's wonderful for them because it provides certainty in relation to what a person is going to pay. They can formalise the agreement by way of what we call a binding child support agreement, and such an agreement will state the child support payable, and the agreement can also provide for various different arrangements. So that may be suitable to each of those individuals and their children. For example, it may state one parent will provide financial support for the child or children by regular payments, or a lump sum payment, or a payment of school fees as well, or regular payments to the school for extracurricular activities. There can also be agreements in relation to payment of medical expenses, insurance premiums. So there's a number of specific requirements though that have to be met for this agreement to be binding. So people must get advice before documenting these agreements. But the best thing is that they've got an agreement in relation to financial support. They know what a person's going to pay or what they're going to receive.
Yeah, because that could be a smart way to do it. So it's not just money going to one of the parents, it's actually going towards something that, you want them to go to like a Catholic school. So that's the money you pay for all the school fees, and that's your child support or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And I think that it's a really good thing for people to do because it does provide them with certainty. And so many times and so often I hear from husband or wife, male or female, that they are subject to what's called change of assessments. So the Child Support Agency's written to them and said the other person's lodged a change of assessment because some circumstances changed. It's quite a complex area of law. There's a lot of paperwork sometimes that these people get as well that they have to go through, and sometimes for them it's a little bit too hard. So if the parties can sit down and go, well, this is what I need for support or what I'm willing to pay for support, and there's an agreement, that's great for them both. It gives them some certainty on what they have achieved and what they're going to each pay for their children or child.
Because there's many things that bring in that assessment. It's the taxable income, isn't it really? And any assets they've got as to what people pay.
So the one thing is looked at is the taxable income. It's not necessarily any assets you have. So it's the taxable income of a person for the previous financial year, although some circumstances may have changed, and for example, if a person's lost a job, they won't be able to pay child support based on their previous taxable income because they no longer have employment. So
that's when that change of assessment
absolutely, that's when the change of assessment things go in. So there's a lot of things that are looked at, and in relation to taxable income as well, usually it's a person's taxable income for the previous financial year that's looked at. However, I always have to say however, there are other things that the agency may look at or look to.
Yeah, okay. And, obviously if you're earning tax-free dollars, and that's not part of that taxable income either.
Well, it's what's reported and what is in your taxable income, so what's in your tax return. And it's usually the case that the Child Support Agency will have access to your tax return or will ask you for your tax return through the ATO, the Australian Taxation Office. They're all government agencies. So quite complex. There's a lot of information surrounding it, although in saying that, on the Department of Human Services Child Support website, they also have a lot of fact sheets. So if people have a question, go and have a look at the website, go and have a look at the fact sheets. There's fact sheets on what is income to be considered in relation to child support. So go and have a look at the fact sheets. There's information out there that should be accessed by people because it's there for those individuals to be able to access.
Perfect. So the topic of child support can be a confusing one, and if you're unfamiliar or if you have any concerns or questions about how it works, definitely ring the team at Real Family Law Centre today for expert advice and assistance.